hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. This is match day 5 of my Bookish World Cup 2024, and today we have got a match on our hands. I'm super excited for both these books. I've been excited to literally as soon as I pick them up, but I'm finally getting around to them, so yay. And this is the match between England with Little Boxes by Cecilia Knapp against Nigeria with The Girl with the Loud Voice by Abby Dare being their representative. I've split the books into 3 sections, so once again I'll read the first, second, third, give you little updates as we go along to see what is going on with the books and the match. And yeah, I literally just started this last night. I'm like 12 pages in, but I'm super excited to get back more into this, and I shall tell you what it's about when I do so. So yeah, see you soon. I'm back with an update now on these books. I should have done this a while ago, but I just haven't been feeling very well and haven't really been in the mood. But I have actually read the first 2/3 of both of these, so I do have quite a lot to update you on and tell you how the match is progressing. But we'll start with Little Boxes because that's what the first one was. And what I wanted to say about this book and why I wanted to read it for so long is because one of my favorite books of last year, I think I actually put it second, was Cheer the F Up by Jack Roach, which is a non-fiction self-help memoir-ish book. It's amazing, it's exquisite, it's so good. I absolutely love it, every fibre of my being. And in it he talks about this like acquaintance, sort of like friend that he meets. I believe it's when he's doing this sort of like poetry, sort of like spoken word, sort of like theatre thing. I'm not 100% sure, I can't really remember exactly, but I think that's sort of how they meet. And he talks about this woman called Cecilia Knapp, and I think it's sort of like about mental health, or like suicide prevention, because Jack's best friend died by suicide, and so did Cecilia's brother. And he talks about how that she's a poet, and yeah, and that she had written a book, and I just needed to get this book because I love that book and I wanted to read it. So yes, that's sort of just a little connection. But yeah, so this is following 4 characters, Leah, Jay, Matthew and Nathan, in sort of Brighton, and they all live in like an estate part where it's sort of like more run down, and it sort of deals with like poverty in a way, about like what it's like to live up without things and in like quite a harsh environment. It's like third person, but each chapter sort of like changes perspective in a way as you're following the 4 characters. Leah and Jay are like a couple, but they're not having really the best of times. Jay wanted to sort of like start seeing other people in a way, have like more of an open relationship. So Leah, she has so much like adoration and love for Jay that she sort of goes along with if it isn't, even though it's not something she actually wants. And we're just sort of like exploring like the toxicity of their relationship and friendship, and the way he sort of like puts her down and makes her like feel bad about herself. And it's just sort of like very complex, and it's difficult to talk about that whole situation. And then Nathan is sort of dealing with sort of like an unrequited love in a sense, and how what he wants, it might not be possible because it will impact things that he already has going on. And the final main character is Matthew, and the book starts with them all sort of at a funeral. See, like the first bit is, everything changes when the old man dies, quietly and on his own terms, as though he had always known that it would happen this way. It starts with this ending. and the man who dies is Matthew's grandfather, and he's is sort of lost in a way. He's sort of thinking, why did this happen? And he's also trying to understand that maybe him and his grandfather had more in common than he sort of previously thought. And it deals with like Matthew's sort of like sexuality and sort of like trying to hide it in a way. And even though Brighton is known for its queer scene, there is still things that you have to overcome, and people that make it difficult for queer people to, you know, come of themselves. And yeah, and it was quite slow paced. It was very, very slow paced to start. And yeah, also I found the writing maybe a little bit simplistic, but it has certainly picked up as the book has gone on, and it's most definitely a literary book because not that much happens, but it's more focused on the character interactions and sort of like talking about sort of like toxicity and like masculinity and sexuality and sort of like the place of women in a way as well, mental health and like suicidal thoughts and ideations a lot, and sort of like drug use and that whole ideas around that. Also Leah's brother Ralph deals with like addiction problems, and it's sort of like his story in some senses where we get parts of. And Nathan's parents, oh my god, Nathan's parents are so I just love them. They're just so sweet. I was meant to show you a quote, but I've forgotten where it was in the book, and they're Benny and Elena, and there's a part where Leah, Jay and Matthew asks them like, we can be happy here, like something like that, and she's like, of course you are, like you are my other children, the children that I couldn't have any more of. And that just was like, oh my lord, they're so sweet and so lovely, and they're like so pure as well and have so much like love and happiness. And things aren't all the best, like times are hard and they deal with things and problems, but they just want to share happiness and love and life, and it's just lovely. Yeah, and yeah, so I can't really say much else about what's actually going on, but without maybe like spoilers in a way. But it's just sort of dealing with these four characters and their interactions with each other's, and then how this death of Ron, Matthew's grandfather, impacts them. And yeah, basically. But there's a part that like it's on page 52, so it's not really like spoilery really, but this whole section from like 52 to 53 is really like hard hitting, and I was like, this is sort of like the turning point in the book where I was like, this is actually a really, really good book and I'm gonna love it. It's when Matthew and Ron are like talking to each other on the bench. This is the before, like it's gone sort of back in time, like a couple of weeks or something before the start of the book. And he talks about like how, I'm just going to read you some quotes. God knows it's hard to say certain things out loud. People can be cruel, more than cruel. They'll kill you. So some people just can't. It's different now, I hope, isn't it? It'll be different for you. Hard still, definitely hard. I hope it's not too late for you. I hope it hasn't messed you up. Change is slow. I don't know, Math. People learn how to hate themselves, but I hope to God it changes for you. I think it's too late for me. Growing up, if I wanted to talk about it, forget it. Well, things were off limits. Couldn't talk about most things, least of all this. No way, secret. Forget a secret. Illegal. It's not acceptable, as much as people say, to be seen as a weak man, Matthew. I've seen men strung up. I've seen men beaten in the street like sick dogs. They had a hand in the game too, but I got on with it. Didn't say anything. Never. Squashed it down. Stamped it out. Drank too much, probably, all my life. Most people do. Kept quiet about how I felt up here. Ron tapped the side of his temple. You're a good lad, Matthew. You should be able to live how you want to live in this world. You should be happy. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Yeah. I feel like he's not saying things explicitly, but you understand what he's talking about. And it's this subtlety in a way, and these sort of things that I read about in books that I just like, they hit me so hard, and I sort of like, I get you, I understand what you're talking about, those most definitely. And yeah, that is little boxes. I'm going to go back onto this next and finish it. Got the last third left. Hope I can finish that soon. But before I do that, let's talk about the girl with the loud in voice. This book is so good. I love it. I love it. This is following Aduni. She's 14 years old. She lives in a small Nigerian village, Ikati. And she is told by her father that it starts this morning. Papa called me inside the parlour, and he tells her that she's going to be married off to Morofu as his third wife, because the family have no money and they need money, and this is just what she has to do because she's a little girl in this society. And it's just so heartbreaking, but also there is so much hope and love in this book as well. We follow her sort of like before her wedding and then going to her wedding, and I mean, it does say on the back, but afterwards she goes to Lagos, and sort of her journey and her life, basically. Don't really say that much more about it, but it's just very hard hitting, and there is parts of it where she's a child, and there's like a such a bit like after she's got married, and she goes down to like the river pit to collect water, and she sees with her old friends Tan and Kaiki, I believe, and they're just sort of like playing, and also she sees a little brother, Chaos, and she sees like they're just like playing around, sort of like playing each other's hair and things, and like that is what she should be doing. She's a 14-year-old girl. Like, she shouldn't be married. She shouldn't be having to endure these horrific events every night with this old guy that like is horrible, and just wants her to pop out a son like she's a baby making machine, and like doesn't care for her. She's a child and she should be playing in the lake, and like that, it hits you so hard, and you're like, oh my, like, I just and yes, and also like in this environment with Morofu and his other two wives, Khadija, I loved Khadija. She's so nice. She's obviously dealing with things, and she's like only like a few years older than Aduni, but she's there for her. And also Lebeck. I don't like Lebeck, but I also understand her in some sense, and I believe there's more things going on than just the fact that she was the first wife that is now living with two more. And yep. Also, wait, what's the bit I finished on? Oh, yeah, this bit, like, it's just, also, yeah, her mum died, like, when she was quite young, and her mum made her dad promise that he will send her into education and get an education and let her do the things that she wants to do, not become a wife. And there's like a little bit here that she says that it just sticks with me so much. Like, it's where her mum's like telling her that in this village, if you go to school, no one would be forcing you to marry any man, but if you didn't go to school, they will marry you to any man once you are reaching 15 years old. Your schooling is your voice, child. It will be speaking for you even if you didn't open your mouth to talk. It will be speaking till the day God is calling you come home. That day, I tell myself that even if I am not getting anything in this life, I will go to school. I'll finish my primary, secondary, and university schooling and become teacher, because I don't want just to be having any kind of voice. I want a loud voice. Oh my gosh. This little girl, she just pulls on your heartstrings from the first sentence, and she doesn't let go at all. Also, I think the way it's written, in a way that is using very basic English, like grammar and language, is either indicative of the fact that she knows English, but she doesn't know it properly, or the way to put tenses and things like that, or it's sort of just like a very literal translation from like Yoruba, but it's very unique. Like like just for example, like at first I am running, keeping my head down, my eyes on my feet on the muddy path that is leading outside the village. Sort of like, do you know what I mean? It's not properly structured. It just makes you like have such a deep connection with her, and I just love it. I absolutely love it so much. She's in Lagos now, and honestly, things aren't really that good either, to be honest. And it's just so upsetting. But she's just got this lovely like humor and way of looking at things, and it just is so good. I'm loving this book so much, and I cannot wait to continue it. Yeah, both of these books are amazing, and both of them are on set for like a 4.75, maybe 5-star rating. Let's do with the scoring first of all. So the first third, I think this one was very slow to start, and like I said, it was a bit basic-y sentences and things, but this one, it just pulled me straight away. Like my heart was just like, oh my gosh. So it did get 1-0 to Nigeria. And then in like the second section, and like as this book develops, and also as this book develops, they're both just so strong. And just to make it more even, I'm just gonna say they both did get a goal. So technically we're at 2-1 at the moment, but I just don't know how it will end for both of them. And I just want to continue them so badly. I just want to get back to this so badly right now, because it's the one I've just finished finishing reading. But I know I need to get back to this, and I do really want to get back to it, but at the same time I just want to get back to this so much. I just want to see what's going to happen with her. Like she has my heart. Like she has my whole heart. So yeah, let's see how this match will conclude. I'm so excited. This is the best one yet. Like these are like neck and neck. Like I wish they got paired of different books in this video series, because some have just been. But anywho, let's continue. Hey, so I've now finished the 2 books for this match. I finished this the night before last and this one last night, so I've had a bit of time to ponder on my thoughts. And I still don't know exactly how I'm going to review them and rate them, but I do think I have a winner. And that is because both of these are probably a 4.5, but one I'm going to round down and the other I'm going to round up. So, yep. The ending of this, I really enjoyed. I think it came together like really well, and I just appreciated that a lot, because sometimes with some literary books, sometimes it might go a bit off skew, or like you might not exactly know how it's going to end up, or if it's going to be something that you want to happen or whatnot. But I think this did have a really good ending. So yeah, I enjoyed this a lot, and I would definitely recommend it. This one I'm probably going to round down. So let's get on to this match winner, the girl with the louder voice. This just, like I said before, she holds my heart, and she just grips you, and she does not let you go one single bit from the first page to the last. She is just there, like, with you, and she's so real and just encapsulating, and I thoroughly enjoy my time with her. And she is just such a beacon of hope and love and just such an incredible character, and other people in here as well that just really make it a very, very enjoyable and good book. Once again, this ended very well. I loved how things came together, and it just was very rewarding and a pleasant reading experience, despite the adversity and problems and horrible things that happened to her. She is just always there with hope, and just I love it, really, really, really would recommend. And then there's I think it's not really a sequel per se, but there is a new book coming out in August. I forgot what it's called now. I put the text up. But this follows Miss Tia, who is a prominent character in like the latter half of this book, and also Aduni is meant to be in that as well. So yeah, so when that comes out, I feel like I'm definitely going to be checking it out, because it sounds really interesting. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. Actually, I think I'm gonna give this a 4.75 star rating. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So recommend. In terms of like the score line, I would probably, let's just say they both get another goal, because the endings of both of these are just so good and they definitely hit you hard. So yeah, so it ends 3-2. Congratulations. This was a very, very close one. This is probably the closest I think so far, for like a good book, or like a book I enjoyed a lot. And yeah, would so recommend both of them. But Nigeria, you are moving forward. I'm sorry, England, but you are going home. On to the next match. See you then. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice morning, even night, wherever you are in the world. Bye.